And good evening, good morning, good afternoon, wherever you may be. This is Agent 56, Cassandra Joan Butler, with your Cosmic Connections for the week. We try to get together on Wednesday evenings around this time, or Wednesday mornings or Thursday mornings, wherever the time may be. We talk about astrology, and I also do what's called spiritual messages. And I wear my mediumistic hat and my astrological hat. So how are you all doing? We are in the middle of January, and we are going to have a jam-packed astrological week next week. Not just a full moon. I mean, a good old-fashioned full moon is enough to be able to see in the dark, but we have a number of really interesting shifts. Friday, again, I'm coming from Buffalo, New York, so wherever you may be on the planet, Friday we have Mercury retrograde. And then we've got Uranus going direct, and then the true north and south nodes shift into Taurus and Scorpio. And, all this has some considerations for us, for the world. So I like to talk about it, just give you a little light and breezy reflection, some things to think about regarding the astrology of our world. Hello, Heather. Good evening. Blessings. Marie Claude. Hello, Kathy. Hi, Faith. Hi, Lynn. Hi, Patty. Thank you for being here. And it's just fun to wrap my emotional energy around all of you, and thank you very much for being a part of this happening every Wednesday night. So, okay, you are going to be spending a few weeks in Aruba, Rhonda. That's excellent. Excellent. Good evening, Monica. Hi, Deb. Happy hump day to you, too. Hi, Faith. Hello, Kathy D. So, my dear friends, how are you? What is the question of the week? Well, my thought is that, and this is based on the Sabian symbol of the full moon that will be taking place. Again, I'm using Eastern Standard Time. Please make your adjustments. But we're going to focus on the lunations during our cosmic connections. And the full moon will be in Cancer on January 17th, 2022, 6:48 p.m. That's Standard Time, coming to you from Buffalo, New York. Listen to the Sabian symbol. It is: an Indian woman brings her college sweetheart to the assembled tribe. Now, a couple words about what these Sabian symbols are. I love using them because, in my mind, they are a synthesis of both the left and right brains. Because Mark Edmund Jones, a very prolific writer, a fabulous astrologer from the early 20th century, and Elsie Wheeler, a very modest Virgo, as a matter of fact, clairvoyant medium from St. Louis, Missouri. They were meditating together to try to bring some awareness to astrology, to try to contribute to astrology. And during their meditations, they came up with these 360 word pictures, which are esoteric word pictures, i.e., Sabian symbols. So this symbol for the full moon that will be affecting all of us, we can interpret individually. But the first step, my dear friends, is to find where 27 degrees of Cancer falls in your chart. Because at the full moon, we can see in the dark. We can have a new perspective. The full moon is about this opposition between consciousness, the sun, and unconsciousness, the moon. And in that dance between the sun and the moon, which creates the phenomena called the full moon, we can see in the dark. We get a more fuller sense of awareness. So, step one, identify where 27 degrees of Cancer falls. And step two, reflect on what that means, the Sabian symbol. A native young lady brings her, in the Sabian symbol, he was a white boyfriend, bringing her white boyfriend, Caucasian boyfriend, to the assembled tribe. To me, this is a symbol of bridging worlds and using love to bridge worlds, very different points of view. Native Americans in this case, with predominant culture, the white culture, and bringing the two together because they do love each other, her boyfriend. In my mind, in my optimistic Sun conjunct Neptune mind, I'm thinking, whoa, wow, maybe we can start to, in our assembled tribes out there in our individual lives, start building bridges between the differing opinions between the V'd and the not V'd for the V. And I think it's fair to say that no matter where you're living on the planet, there's been more and more evidence and data that shows that even if you've had the protection in various forms of a V for the V, it doesn't preclude you coming down with the disease. That seems to be a shift in awareness and reality. And as a result, perhaps a shift in the horrific, angry, segregating thoughts and actions that have taken place between the V's and the non-V's. At least that's my hope. So that is the full moon shining awareness on people from different backgrounds and different quote unquote tribes. So one can only hope that because of the gathering evidence that just because you have this particular protection, it doesn't make any, that doesn't make any difference. I'm not a doctor. I'm not a public health person. Please, I'm not. I'm just an observer of things and a messenger, as it were. But to my mind, because the common rhetoric in some circles has been angry and judgmental against the folks who have not gotten the V, I think perhaps this symbol is a catalyst of understanding and merging of different and differing points of view. That's the full moon. It takes place on Monday, the 17th. The full moon, my friends, is going to be playing with Mr. Pluto, and we all know what Pluto represents. Pluto is the intense godfather, as it were, the volcanic energy that erupts. Pluto is a very dangerous energy in some ways because it works in the subterranean reaches of our psyche. It represents, I think, a great analogy for Pluto is the volcano that erupts. And in its wake, after the eruption, the landscape is changed. Pluto, of course, is the transformer. Pluto is one half of the equation which colored the year of transformation way back when in 2020 in January 12th, when Pluto and Saturn were kissing in the sky in conjunction. So anytime you see Pluto going on predominantly in a lunation like a full moon, you know that's an intense time and space. I'm also going to talk about Mercury retrograde, so stay with me. So the full moon casts its light on Monday. Some other aspects of this full moon, we are going to have the North Node conjunct Ceres. Ceres, as one interpretation, is the Earth Mother who rules food, clothing, and shelter, and the North Node in moving into Taurus. And Ceres represents the supply chain, the ability to take care of oneself, food, clothing, and shelter. So there's going to be a lot more discussion about what really matters. Are we getting our needs met from the culture, from the society of which we are all members of in our particular tribes, paying homage again to the Sabian symbol? So that's going on. And then number two, when Mercury goes retrograde, it is leaving the domain of air. It's retrograding in Aquarius, which is logic, which is enlightenment. You know, Aquarius is also a fixed sign. So I know what I know. I know this is what's really going on in the world. That's what Mercury in Aquarius says. But as it retrogrades, it emerges on the 4th of February at 24 degrees of Capricorn. There's that magic Capricorn again. So here's a reflection point. During the Mercury retrograde, we don't know what we don't know. And be aware that don't always believe what you think. As the Mercury retrogrades from Friday, this Friday, until the 4th of February, it's leaving earth, or going from air to earth, like grounding and finding evidence of thoughts. So we go from air to earth, right? And it's that magic degree of 24 degrees of Capricorn, which is following us all during this unfolding, this evolutionary event called the Great Transformation Time, the Great Pandemic. Call it what you will. So good evening. Hi, Susan. Yes, thank you. Thank you for the greetings. Hi, Phi. Yes, Aquarius is an air sign, but it's a fixed air sign. Please add any questions. I'll be happy to answer them for you. Okay, and it's very intense in Quebec. Good evening. You're very welcome, Sam. And yes, Lynn, you're explaining my little accident. Okay. Okay, very good. Thank you, Michelle. I'd love to come to Florida. What happened to my foot? Okay, I might as well do my personal thing, right? So I'm so happy to be with you. I'm happy to be with all of you every Wednesday. And I'll give you a little astrological analysis, because I know we have a wonderful astrologers in the room. Again, I'm Agent 56 of the Great Cosmic Intelligence Agency, and I've been a part of this wonderful organization, this wonderful platform that has various services for astrologers and people who want to study astrology alike. So here's an astrological analysis. The day, it was just yesterday. Oh my goodness, it seems like a long time ago. Yesterday, Uranus, the unexpected planet, the planet of quick, sudden surprise, was conjunct the moon in Taurus. As it was conjuncting the moon in Taurus, it was also sending a signal called a square aspect, which is 90 degrees, to Saturn. Now, Saturn is one of the planets that rules bones, right? Uranus represents unusual, quick surprise. And of course, the moon is domesticity and so forth. In my chart, in my personal chart, I'm being very transparent with you. I am a Scorpio sun sign. So that moon and that Uranus was opposite to me. Opposition, transformation, change. Saturn was squaring my sun. And in that magic moment, my vehicle of expression, of writing, of teaching, of talking to you, right now, right here, I'm looking at it, my computer, my laptop, slipped out of my hands and directly went a bullseye between my fifth and fourth metatarsals, my toes on my foot. And the pain was excruciating, and I screeched, and I scared my dogs. And I went to the hospital, and they fit me with this fantastic boot, which is a compression boot, which is basically stabilizing the two little broken bones. So yes, I can walk again. Poor pitiful me, though, because I'm coming from Buffalo, New York, wherever you may be on the planet, one of my favorite activities, because I do, in fact, have in my chart Aquarius in my fifth house of play and activity. I can't ski with a broken foot. So that's my only downside. But keep in mind, in my chart, I have a T-square. So the Uranus was squaring my Uranus, and Saturn was on top of my wounded healer, Chiron. Can you get that picture? I've got a T-square between Scorpio, fixed, Aquarius, Leo. A lot about me, but I try to make it about astrology for you. So that's my explanation for my foot. It was a surprise, and maybe it's trying to remind me to ground myself and not be buzzing around. Okay. So Jane has a question. A good time to get back with someone from your past. Thank you. I am feeling much, much better. I am feeling really, really well. Even though I had the accident just happened yesterday, a good rest and some natural remedies, including something called arnica. Okay. You have a question here. Okay. There was a question. Is there a good time to get back with someone for your past? Jane, I want to address that. Last week, we talked about the Venus retrograde and about the Venus star point. And I want to remind you, friends, if you are not yet a member of the Cosmic Intelligence Agency, the originator, the mother of the CIA, Julia Simmons, is a fabulous teacher of Venus star point. She's wise, she's amazing, she's brilliant. That's how I first came to understand a little bit about the Venus star point journey way back when I listened to a lecture of hers back in California in 2016, I believe it was. And again, what's really cool about astrology, you have all these different topics that you can investigate. You never get bored with astrology, right? So in essence, we're all experiencing the Venus retrograde in Capricorn. On Saturday, the star point, which simply means Venus is up conjunct against the sun. So Venus's qualities are being illuminated, are being emphasized. And that degree was 16 degrees of Capricorn. So in answer to your question, Jane, it's a great time, maybe even unconsciously, to think about past loves, to ruminate about past loves, to maybe even get in contact with past loves. But the minute that Mercury goes retrograde, we might lose that onus to reach out. So perhaps you might want to reflect about love as a concept and write about it. Write it down in a journal and see how you're feeling about reaching out after the 4th of February. I'm not telling you what to do, but that's how I would approach it. Astrology offers us a map, but it's not the destination. Does that make sense? Okay. So it's a good time to consider, Jane, to think about that, but maybe there's a fluidity about retrogrades, and they're representing the qualities of the planets that are seemingly going in backwards motion for us to reconsider, redo, and so forth. I hope that makes sense. All right. We still have the full moon this week. And oh, thank you, Claudette, for that suggestion. We have some homeopaths. Very good. Good time for a Virgo to start writing a book. Oh, interesting. I bet you, Monica, anything that you already have notes on that book might be a good time to redo, rethink, and re-edit what you already have written. They say the Mercury retrograde is a good time for editing. In my mind, Monica, anytime is a great time to start a book because it's a communication. But remember, Mercury rules communications. The time to reinvest in your thoughts is during the Mercury retrograde. And I want to be clear, when Mercury goes from air to earth, fixed air is Aquarius. It's not a water sign. A lot of people say, oh, Aquarius is the water bearer. No, it's definitely a fixed air sign. It's the time to maybe rethink your thoughts about that book and then emerge with a new type of manuscript after the 4th of February. Okay, the other big story, my dear friends, big cosmic story, is that Uranus, the planet of surprise, brilliance, I call it God's mind, is going to be going direct in the sky. It's been retrograde since the end of August. I believe it was August 20th. Depends on where you are on the planet. But when a big guy, one of the big titans, Uranus or Neptune or Pluto, are retrograde, it's almost as if, oh, I'll be right back, friends. I better plug in or you're going to lose me. Hold on. Phew, just in time. Boing. Okay, I'm plugged in now. Let's see. Reboot. Is that here? We're talking about retrogrades, and my computer almost went out. All right, isn't that funny? Okay, rethinking everything, Kimberly. Okay, I answered Jane's question. Blah blah blah. Save the power. Thanks, Pamela. I can't be anything else but right. But that was really scary. Oh my gosh, I won't lose contact. What was I talking about? Uranus rules computers. Uranus rules brilliance. Uranus rules technology, science. It rules science. It rules scientists. It rules UFOs. It rules everything wild, wacky, and different. And I like to call it God's mind. So if Mercury would be our own individual minds, this week we have Mercury retrograde, and then the God mind, the creator mind, goes direct. Go back, friends, to late August and ask yourself, what projects did you want to bring into manifestation? What goals, what ideas were you playing with back late August of 2021? And then worldly duties got in the way. You couldn't quite manifest what you were hoping to do. Well, now that Uranus is going to be going direct on the 18th, at 10 degrees of Taurus, it might give you the impetus to restart and connect the dots to last August. So use that energy to resurrect some ideas. And then another big astrological shift is the great nodal shift. My sense about the passing transiting nodes, they are lunar nodes. A node, of course, is the junction between the orbit of the Earth and the orbit of the moon. At that junction is called the lunar nodes. And they have a transiting pulse of 18.5 years, 18.9 years. They stay in two signs. They're a polarity for about a year and a half. So from the 19th of January, the true node is going to be in Taurus and Scorpio. And then that continues until July 23rd of 2023. And then the conversation, the collective conversation, the world conversation is going to be shifting into Taurus and Scorpio topics. And what's a Taurus Scorpio topic? Well, for one thing, Taurus rules matter, money, stability, the environment, and Scorpio rules power. It can mean the abuse of power. It can mean secrets. Like, for example, the last time the nodes were in Scorpio and Taurus was in 2004, 2003, and that was the beginning of the Iraqi war. The U.S. had invaded under false pretense way back when, saying Saddam Hussein had weapons of mass destruction. He did not. I'm not saying he was a great guy, but he did not have the weapons of mass destruction at that time. But so lies and manipulations often color the time of the nodes in Taurus and Scorpio, friends. And so that we can expect. There's so much more to that. I'm teaching a class on that tomorrow, by the way. It's pretty full, but if you're really interested, I can probably get you in. It's CassandraJoanButler.com. That's my website. You can read about my classes. But I want you definitely to consider, if you're not already a member of the CIA, please do so. Minds who've been in the minds of astrology gather with the CIA. What can I say? So that's happening too. So much astrology is happening this week. What does it all mean for us? That is very individualized. And that's why I direct your awareness to learning more about this beautiful language of the cosmos. Astrology is one of those, I guess, holistic, international fusion between spirit and mind. So I can't say enough about learning astrology. I've been learning and applying it for a very, very, very long time. Let's take a look at kind of, I call it the Reader's Digest form of astrology. I'm just going to go through some solar astrology for you, focusing on the full moon. So if you are an Aries or an Aries rising, this upcoming week with the full moon is illuminating home, family, and your place of safety and security. You might be wanting to remodel your home. You might want to fix up relationships with your family. However that might turn out for you, be aware that your focus will be on grounding and safety. For Taurus or Taurus rising, the full moon is illuminating the way you are managing your time, your schedule, your paperwork, your ability to communicate, perhaps even having to use the tools of communication. Maybe you want to fix your computer, keeping in mind Mercury will be retrograde. For Gemini or Gemini rising, this upcoming week will illuminate what you'd like to do in terms of abundance, improving your income, perhaps turning a hobby into an incoming producing activity. It's about money, but it's also about your self-esteem and your self-worth and value. For Leo or Leo rising, the upcoming full moon is illuminating your secret self, your self that is spiritual, that needs retreat, that needs to rest or meditate or pray. For Virgo or Virgo rising, this full moon's energy, I missed Cancer. Oh my goodness. I'll get back to that in a minute. Virgo or Virgo rising, you are looking at ways to expand your social network, to nurture your friends, maybe have a little get together if you can, have a meal or make a meal for some friends. It's the idea of merging with the people you care about and be social. For Cancer or Cancer rising, all eyes are on you. The full moon is in your sign. Remember, it's 26 degrees, 27 degrees of Cancer, and that part of your chart, and or if you're a Cancer sun or a Cancer rising, you will really feel the emotion of the full moon, especially because you're looking into the eyes of Pluto right across from the full moon. For Libras or Libra riser, full moon is illuminating your career house. It's asking you to come up to the plate, to become more of a leader in your profession, to dust off any insecurity or fear and take the leadership role. For Scorpio or Scorpio rising, the full moon is illuminating your way of communication, marketing yourself, perhaps teaching a class or taking a class, or maybe even planning for a trip if you can. For Sagittarius or Sagittarius rising, this full moon energy is asking you to illuminate your inner sense of strength. And that is true strength that comes from spirit or spiritual exercises, that comes from psyche or psychological awareness. So it's really spending some time, Sagittarius, to acknowledge your internal strength. With Capricorns or Capricorn rising people, the full moon is asking you to look at the way you're communicating and being with and experiencing relationship. So the focus is on your partner and how to become a better partner and how to become more equitable in your best friend relationships. For our Aquarius or Aquarius rising people, this energy is asking you to say, hey, improve yourself, exercise, eat better, do self-care to expand your awareness and to become a healthier, more productive person. So it's about self-care and self-improvement. Pisces or Pisces rising, this full moon is shining a light in your fun house. Fun represents creativity, romance, and just activities. Take your hair down, Pisces, and have some fun. So there you have it. Thank you, JP. I did forget Cancer, and I came back to Cancer. All right. Okay. Monica, yes, just go to my, I'll put my website up here. I'm always doing classes, but I would ask you, if you're interested in what I can offer you all, then please just come to my, you call it. Yeah. Aha, I misspelled it. That's not my spelling. Sorry. Joan, not John. Just go to my website. It's Cassandra Joan Butler. And I have a little newsletter that I don't write routine. I write routinely, but not regularly. When I get inspired, I put a little blog or a little note out in my newsletter. All right. You're welcome, Monica. You're very welcome. All right, friends. So there you have it. Be aware you're going to become illuminated with the full moon. Be aware that we have a lot of things going on this week astrologically, again, directing your attention to the Cosmic Intelligence Agency, because as a member, you have active uh, awareness of old webinars and new webinars, of course, and you can learn about astrology. It's a community of astrologers from around the planet. It's not just me, or Julia. It's so many beautiful, brilliant minds that are offering you information and webinars and articles, and they're right on top of things, right? So direct your attention to the Cosmic Intelligence Agency. Let's do some spiritual work. I'm also a medium. If you know my chart, I'm transfixed by the great three titans, right? This is my credential for being a medium. Sun conjunct Neptune, Sun square Uranus, and Pluto conjunct the moon. Yeah, if I wasn't a medium or astrologer, I would be in big trouble. We're going to do some mediumship. How I do that, it's completely random. When I pick your name, I close my eyes. I put my finger down the conversations here, and then I will pick a message. And it could be a mediumistic message from someone who's passed, or it could be just like a psychic impression. I never know, right? I just trust. I trust. Because I'm a firm believer that there's more to this world than meets the eye, Horatio. There's more to heaven and earth. And I'm doing a terrible pandering to Shakespeare. I'm sorry, it's not in my toolbox. But anyway, there's more to the world than meets the eye. Close my eyes, say my prayer, and we'll start our 2 reads. Dear God, please allow me to serve. Please allow my words be filled with love and light, truth, inspiration, and healing for the highest, for the best, as we align ourselves with the Holy Spirit. Amen. Okay. All right. Monica Rodriguez Tassi. Monica Tassi. Monica, are you still in the room? Okay. That was weird. I went away and I came back. Okay, Monica. Oh, I think that was just really strange. Monica, as I'm tuning into your energy tonight, I'm getting, this is interesting how I want to convey this to you. I'm getting 3 different levels of responsibility for Monica. It's almost as if she's responsible for whether it be a smallish group, family group, maybe some children, and then there's another extended group that she is masterminding with her friends, and then there's another group. You are kind of like the den mother. You are the role of the mother, Monica. You're the role of making sure all the dots connect and all the people are getting along. And you do this very well. It's almost as if there's this maternal, I want to look at your Cancer in your chart. I want to look at the Virgo in your chart. You are always kind of on call, ready and able to be a friend indeed. You know, the expression of friend in need is a friend indeed. That's Monica. And that you're holding up these 3 platforms with these 3 different groups so expertly that people are in awe of what you do. That's what I'm getting psychically for you. Okay. And as I am connecting with you for the new year, I'm being very aware of that you have been silently and not necessarily talking about this, but very affected by, on a personal level, with the Uranus Saturn square. In other words, you've been fighting against yourself with the limitations that have been imposed by the worldwide crisis. I call it the CV, the coronavirus crisis, and the need for creative freedom and self-expression. That you've been, there's almost been, I want to feel, I'm not saying you have a stomach ache, but I'm almost getting your solar plexus here has been like just spent with trying to make sense of everything. And I'm getting a teacher in spirit for you, Monica, a teacher when you were young. And I don't think this was a relative. I think this was a teacher or perhaps a neighbor or someone that was very close to you as a guide. And it feels it was a school marm teacher. It was someone that you looked up to. She was a rather large woman. She was tall and wide, but she was very wise, and she had a delicious sense of humor. She was sarcastic and she was wise, and you really responded to her because when you were very little, I'm seeing around 10 to 12 years of age, you were sometimes quiet or shy. But this woman kind of brought out your inner advocate. Sorry, I'm using all these astrological asteroids. I'm not sure if you even know astrology, but I'm giving this to you any case, Monica. Your inner Pallas Athena was being activated or beheld by this teacher or woman. And she's coming in from spirit to remind you that you are a fighter, you're an advocate, and stay the course and trust your own instincts and trust your own intuition as we go through. And February, just next month, is going to be a very radical, positive breakthrough month for you to let it out, let it loose, and express yourself in a new way. And this is both with a topic or a goal that's near and dear to your heart, or it's also a career orientation too. Oh, that was your sociology teacher. Okay, thank you, Monica, because I really feel that this larger than life woman believed in you and helped you believe in yourself. And the message from her right now is believe in yourself as we are facing this wild and crazy world. Okay. Oh, good. Isn't that fun? I'm glad that resonates with you. Beautiful. You're a healer, Monica. And Monica, circle. All of us should circle this date. April 12th of 2022. That's the conjunction of Jupiter and Neptune. And that's a big download of compassion and intuition on the planet. And that's going to be very, very important for you, Miss Monica. Thank you. Okay. All right. Hi, Annie, my dear, beautiful cousin. It's so much better. I don't have a stitch of pain. I was telling the people earlier I was using arnica, and I'm not a doctor. I'm not telling you guys to use arnica, but it helped me. So that's my disclaimer, right? I don't want to get into trouble. I drink almond milk too, but it doesn't mean you should drink almond milk as well. I don't want to get into trouble. I'm a scaredy cat. Let's do another mediumship. Dear God, please allow me to serve. Please allow my words be filled with love and light and truth, inspiration and healing. For the highest and best as we align ourselves with the Holy Spirit. Amen. Okay. Tara Jans. Hi, Tara Jans. Oh, let me know where you guys are coming in from too. What part of the world you're beaming in from. Where are you from, Tara? I'm with you. Would you like a reading? Would you like a reading, Tara? Hi, Al. Hi, Jacob. So Tara Johns. Hi, Tara. Cleveland, Tennessee. Gettsville. Yay. Hi, Linnell, sweetheart. Okay. It's all random. I would love to give you a read, Linnell. I'd love to give you all a read, but I just do this, randomly. Okay, Tara. So as I'm tuning into you from Sydney, all over the world, God bless you all. Tara, I'm with a very beautiful, quiet, serene, almost spiritual, feminine guide on the other side of life for you. I feel this is a relative. This could be a mom. This could be an aunt. No, it feels more maternal. So if it's a grandmother, she was involved with your growing up years, Tara. But it's a very calm, serene, spiritual woman who did not say much, but you felt her spirit. You felt her unconditional love, not just for you, but for other people. And she always seemed put together, whether it be with her outfits or her hair, but low key and not extravagant. She's coming in like a cloud. She's coming in like on a cloud. and very soft and sensitive. And it's like a whisper of encouragement to you. And the whispering is something like this: please, honey, don't give up. Stay the course. Have trust. Be patient. Be patient. Stay the course. Don't give up. And she seems to be communicating this message to you with regards to a difficult relationship concern you may have, Tara. And as she's coming in, she's reminding you that there's an expression: to whom much is given, much is expected. And she's saying that what you have a lot of is empathy, understanding, and wisdom. So sometimes you have to use those qualities to understand people who are not at that psychological or spiritual level. So she's reminding you to stay the distance and be patient, because, sensitive empaths, people who have a lot of empathy and sensitivity, sometimes can be hurt more easily. But she's also reminding you that you've put up some boundaries and some barriers. You've learned how to do that since January of 2020, the past 2 years. One of the big gifts of COVID pandemic for you, Tara, was that you learned how to say no. You put up some barriers. So she's saying this to you: just be patient with yourself and be patient with the circumstance that's causing a little trepidation and fear regarding a relationship. I hope that makes sense. Okay. Oh, I'm so glad that's your grandmother. I'm glad that I was able to connect. She came in so strong, Tara. You already know her. Does that make sense? I really felt her energy. She kind of reminded me of my grandmother too. Maybe they're up there playing in heaven and saying, "Look at these funny little humans talking on this funny little box and talking to us." For those of you who are skeptical of the mediumship, so I grew up with this stuff. I was 13 years of age and I was going to Lilydale Assembly in upstate New York, and I was learning how to do messages, and it's like second nature. But I would ask you to do this if you're really skeptical. Ask yourself this one question: can energy be created or destroyed? I rest my case. Thank you, Einstein's energy. It's all transmutation. It's all transformation. No, I don't believe that you're dead and like a doornail and you go away forever, any more than if you burn this piece of paper, that the piece of paper's atoms and molecules are going to go away. Oh, well, that's another discussion. Friends, it's so awesome to see you. Happy, happy, happy full moon. Remember, you see in the dark better on Monday. Remember that Sabian symbol. Remember the intensity it brings with Pluto opposite the full moon. Remember that Mercury goes retrograde. It's not a bad thing. It's an opportunity for you to go within and reconsider, redo, edit, and rethink something that you were adamant about. You might get some new insight. Remember that Uranus going direct next week is also asking you to take some risks that you've been putting aside since August 20th of 2021. A lot of stuff going on. God bless you all. Love you. And I'll see you next week at the same time and same station. Bye.